I read the story today. Apparently, chimpanzees have really good working memory. They've trained this chimpanzee since 2007 to look at numbers, right? 9 numbers that are on a screen, and they flash all at the same time. And for, I think it's 20 milliseconds. And then there's and then the chimpanzee has to choose in order, because it goes to these white screens over it. You have to choose in order afterwards, and the chimpanzee is able to get it consistently.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is just impeccable. And then
better than anything else could do.
No, because it's impossible.
Well, that's
it's impossible.
That's
really?
Short-term memory, though.
It's not even psychology coming in here. Short-term memory and working memory are different things. Maybe not. I don't think psychologists have agreed on it yet. Because we don't agree on anything.
How's your job quest going? Or you had a job?
Yeah, I'm still working on it. The place that I'm working contract right now, they were, I might have mentioned they were looking for a full-time associate. They ended up going with someone else for a full-time associate, which is kind of logical. The person would be doing almost exclusively interviewing, and exclusively interviewing almost entirely in French. And the person they ended up hiring is Haitian, so I don't think I'd be able to top that kind of French. So.
And on that note, let's start off. I'm Adam like usual. We got Sean, Richard, Andy, and Matt showing his hand like usual.
Hello.
Prove he's there.
Hand. It's the fucking Adams family.
Well, look, I have a second hand. And a foot.
Am I wrong to think in Myst that you're also a hand? Or are you a person?
No, true.
You're
I always assumed that you were a hand for some reason.
Why would you think
I
you're
don't
a hand?
know. Like a glove, a white glove hand? Is that possible?
I think it was
kinda
like
odd.
old shooters. When you look to the ground, you never saw your feet.
I don't think.
Kind of weird, Sean.
I remember there being a room with a reflection,
Oh,
but I don't think you see. I don't know.
Oh, so you're a vampire.
I don't think in Thief 3
please.
or whatever that
You're
island one,
Edward Cullen.
or Thief 2, Mist 2.
This is
Yeah.
Twilight. Yeah.
Anyways,
Starting with Andy, everyone quiet.
Thing is, I played bits and pieces of different games. So
Yeah.
I played a bit of Killzone.
Put it
'cause I
together.
just got my PS4.
Mix it
Just
into
merged
one game.
yeah, I have to lend you games because you don't have games. What did you buy, anyways?
I got COD because Target had that deal.
Yeah,
It was like $35 for PS4 games, all of them pretty much.
What?
So
I went to go find Injustice, but I didn't have any.
I just went to Future Shop and price matched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
So
You should have done that.
I
So
did
I
that
got-
with an EB game.
I was like, I'm never buying COD ever again. But for $35,
Why not?
okay, I want Extinction Mode just to see how it is.
Yeah.
So I got that, and I got Killzone as well. Killzone, it's
Yeah.
it's not
It's
great.
not next gen.
It's no,
But it feels. I
It
don't
looks
know if-
nice. That's
I don't
about
know if
it.
the word wayward is appropriate, but I remember playing the second Killzone and I don't like competitive multiplayer games, and this just blew me out of the water. It was just so fantastic on every level, and then 3 felt underwhelming, and now this Shadows Fall seems.
yeah. I like the touchpad integration. That's kind of cool.
No, it isn't.
But
You do 4 things with it.
yeah,
It kills
It's so
them.
pointless.
but it's better than nothing.
No, I would have been glad with nothing because then they didn't have to implement it into the game.
Yeah, they probably only added that random zipline thing because of that.
Yeah.
It could have been a gun. Zipline, you shoot ropes and then zipline down.
It was badass. Why would you undermine the credibility of something that can shoot zip lines?
They made it really easy though with the whole L1 to respawn thing.
Really?
You die and then maybe
Oh, it heals you. It heals you.
Yeah.
But if you don't, it doesn't always heal you. You have to have a pack.
Okay. It's like you get a second chance kind of thing.
Oh, like a droid or something?
Yeah, it's a droid.
That's what does your you have a zipline ability and
You can also attack stuff.
But
yeah.
you get unlimited of these things, right?
If the droid is dead, it won't bring you back to life and you'll die.
Yeah.
But
Also, you have to have these adrenaline packs or something like that. You have to have certain things for it to revive
You
you.
can only hold 4.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
what else did you play? Or what else did you buy? You bought
bit of
Call of Duty.
Oh, I played Outlast.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much finished it. Pretty much.
Shit your pants.
No, it's
Just when they
it was
jump
pretty freaky, but it's jump scares.
Yeah.
For the most
Well,
part.
that's
It's not
That doesn't
really.
count.
But that's the only thing that's scary in scary games, other than the crazy, stupid anxiety you get from the fucking atmosphere and the music.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Silent Hill did an enormously good job at being scary. And
Well, that's it. It's the atmosphere.
Oh my god! No, it's actually just. Well, this is. I'm gonna turn this game off and kill myself because I'm contemplating
What about
my
those,
existence.
the picture games?
Oh, Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame.
Those were fun.
That was frightening because you didn't have control of a gun or something. You felt
Well, what the fuck do you think an Outlast is?
well. There you go. But like that's maybe something what Andy's talking about. If I'm putting words into your mouth right now, is that they had an opportunity to create that feeling, but they just resorted to jump scares.
Mm.
So I mean, have you played Amnesia also?
Yeah.
And how do they compare?
I preferred Amnesia.
Did you
at
play
least once.
Outlast by yourself?
No. But
Okay,
I also
because I know
played-
you didn't play Amnesia by
No.
yourself.
And we took it in turns. And honestly, watching someone else play is completely different to
It's just as
actually
scary.
playing yourself.
No, it's
No,
less.
it's less.
It's less scary, yeah.
We were like, no, you keep playing. It's like,
Don't want to play.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I have Machine for Pigs, but I haven't played it yet.
Right.
It's different.
I've got.
It's not as good as the
It's
first
more
one.
like story driven, right?
Mm.
And it's like first person.
Well, it was always first person.
No, wasn't it like an adventure? Because they showed the first one. It was like wasn't it different?
No, you're first person.
Because
with
also the
torch.
shadow, didn't the darkness drive you crazy in the first
Yeah.
one? Yeah, this one has nothing to do.
Yeah,
Really?
they removed. I think they removed the insanity. There.
Mm.
The one thing I really liked about Outlast, sorry, not Contra.
Contra.
When you when you're running away, I love the looking over the
Oh
shoulder.
god.
And like,
The first time that happened, I'm like, what the fuck was that? Because I touched it by accident. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, it freaked me out. Because you turn so fast, it's jarring. Yeah.
Really? That's the unique mechanic for the game.
Yeah.
like when you go up to a wall, you see your hand, and he like
Oh, that's cool.
it's all completely automated.
Yeah.
Ah, that's
Whereas apparently in Thief, it's not quite done as.
Well, they
smooth.
had
You
it.
just press square and then that's
Yeah.
it.
They had it in what's it called? Last of Us. When he leaned up against
Yeah.
things, he would always kind of actually
Yeah.
lean on it. He wouldn't just.
Uncharted 3 did that as well. But still, I mean, it's still a nice touch that I think is
Yeah.
not in as many games as it should be. I agree.
Yeah.
It's good.
And in one part of the game, towards the end, it's pretty sweet when you have the peeking thing. 'cause-
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that scene is just.
Not quite sure what he's talking about, but
Maybe you shouldn't elaborate on that because I might still
Yeah.
play
I'm
it.
not gonna.
anyways,
Gonna
Matt,
spoil
what have you been up to this week?
Well, not this week, but I'm gonna just mention something quick for Assassin's Creed 4 because I started, but I can't get it to work properly because of lag and voice issues.
Oh, your computer's fucked?
Did you check
No,
your
my
TC?
computer's fine.
But the game doesn't work, so there's
No,
something wrong.
It's just with the game itself because it's on Steam, so there's always problems with ports to Steam and whatever. Like the
Okay.
voice is all off and everything, so I'm gonna wait till I fix it.
Yeah, he bought it because it was on sale. He
Mhm.
messaged me, he's like, 40%
Yeah,
off.
40% off. Good deal.
Really good game, so why not?
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
traded Condemned 2 for it,
Hmm.
which
still
was
haven't
valued
played
at
it, have
50
you?
cents.
That's another horror game you played.
Yes, which is fantastic.
Yes, the Condemned
Are you
series
into
is
it?
fun.
Anyways,
Sorry?
Have you played it yet?
What?
Assassin's Creed 4?
No.
he has to
You're
get
not,
to it.
You're not even tempted, are you? You're just
No,
like,
he has it.
It's just
Yeah.
there.
You own
It's
it.
just there. I don't want to invest
I'm not going to
another
talk
40 hours.
much about Assassin's Creed
Anyways,
because I'm
yeah.
not going to talk about another, but I just want to mention, thank God, I guess they're from Montreal Studios, right? Because
Yeah.
at the beginning or whenever you're out of the Animus, everyone speaks French, and I understand everything everyone's saying, and it's just such a great Easter eggs. I'm like, when I'm in Italy, I don't understand what everyone's saying in the background.
Yeah.
When they're speaking Italian.
Oh.
Yeah,
Now in the
but
back, they're all
they're
speaking
all
French.
Oh,
And all the little Easter eggs they have in there, it's amazing. I'm like, wow.
that's
So
amazing.
you should
awesome.
learn Italian and play
Have you-
Assassin's Creed 2 again.
Have you been up
That's
in
what
the
you're saying.
office yet?
Yeah, that's
Like-
it. I started. That's
Did
when I
you-
first got out.
Did you see the city?
No, I didn't see the city.
Look
yet.
out, like
Is it
when you
accurate?
go out onto the scaffolding,
Well-
you see Montreal, like
Wow.
in the.
But you could tell it's from Montreal, I guess, because even the way they speak French.
Yeah.
Anyway, just the cool little things they add into the game and like the French.
That's
way-
kinda cool.
Yeah.
40% of us want to separate since 1980. Oh!
Anyways,
Easter
that's
eggs.
not the game we're talking about.
Alright,
The
anyways.
game we're talking about is Catherine.
Yeah, you were playing Castle.
Puzzle platformer.
Did you beat it?
Although
Or?
I would like to quotation mark the puzzle because there's more puzzle in the Rapunzel part of the game than the actual game itself.
Rapunzel?
Yes, you know the stupid little arcade game you can play in Catherine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's more puzzle involved in that game than the actual game itself.
Okay.
Because it just gets ridiculously stupid after a while that it's not even a puzzle, it's just action. You're just trying to get to the top without dying
Yeah.
because it's
no.
ridiculous.
It's hard as fuck, that game.
It's not just because it's hard, it's stupid mechanics to the game. First of all, the controls are shit. Apparently I have to use the D-pad.
Which
to
is
make
wrong
it
with
work
that?
properly. But I'm like,
I personally prefer that.
Yeah,
well, I was
seriously.
thinking, like, why would I want to play any kind of game with a D-pad? I have a
I was
joystick.
pissed that I couldn't play Strider with the fucking D-pad.
But anyways, because I would always get myself killed with the joystick because I'd
Yeah,
be
okay.
running and I couldn't dodge the spikes. Whatever. I don't know how far you two played or anyone. Have you
I beat
played?
it.
You beat it? I didn't
Yeah,
beat
you
it.
beat it. You
I
didn't
stopped
beat it.
playing it eventually.
The puzzles near the end just get ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
Again, puzzles.
Yeah.
Not really puzzles because they start blowing up the map.
Mhm.
Once the
Oh,
map
really?
just starts blowing up, like it destroys the whole puzzle aspect.
Yeah.
There's no thinking anymore. It's just trying to run as fast as you can to get to the top.
Yeah.
Like bosses, like doesn't matter how far ahead I get of the bosses because their abilities, they'll just start blowing up the map because they hate you.
Hmm.
And then once the map starts going away, I mean I don't know what to do anymore. I have to just
Interesting.
reset
I
and get there
remember
faster.
I remember trying it on hard or whatever, like a test. I couldn't even beat the first level.
Well,
It's
that's what I said.
stupid.
I said fuck that. I'm going straight to normal. I'm like I'm ready to put on easy
Mhm.
because it's too stupid.
It's ridiculous.
Like,
That's
You
one.
would figure as a puzzle, they would show you the entire wall. You'd be able to look at all of it and then make a decision from there. No,
Yeah.
this comes in chunks.
Yeah.
I've gone fast enough to make it to the point where I'm on top of the wall
Then you're
and I'm waiting
it to
for the
come
rest
down.
to come down. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I'm on the wrong block. What am I going to do now? Backtrack and start
Yeah.
losing points, whatever?
Yeah.
What do you think of the actual? Because it sort of pegs itself as being a puzzle game,
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
but
not a
also
puzzle.
having a very strong narrative. What
Well,
do you
yeah.
think of the actual story?
The narrative itself, it's amazing, but like by the time I get to it, I'm so frustrated. I don't even feel like listening to
It's
it.
like he doesn't
I
want to
just
play
want to
anymore.
skip it all. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing story, though. It's like an anime. They made
Yeah.
it like an anime.
That's why you like it so much.
Not just that. It's just it has a good story to it. It's not just.
I
It's
can't
like a
even
film.
remember it.
It's like a film game.
Yeah.
It
It's like
does
watching
have a good-
TV.
It has a very cinematic quality.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's very fun. Like it's very interactive. Again, when there's certain parts when you enter the bar, right, you got to talk to everybody.
Mhm.
I'm actually using a guide to do it because there's no way I'm going to figure out who to talk to at which order because eventually they just start leaving.
You need an order?
Yeah, because there's a way to maximize talking to everybody. It's just it's so frustrating after a while. Like it's I wouldn't say it's unforgiving because you can kind of reverse your moves to a certain point.
Mhm.
But I'm like, the first time I was playing it, I'm like, oh well, I don't need to. I'm not going to try to save as much as possible
Mhm.
just to try to be good with the puzzles. No, I lost. It started me back all the way because it's by saves, right?
Yeah.
So if I don't save at each checkpoint, at each landing, at each story mode, like I'll forget to save when I'm in the bar because I'm just too busy trying to talk to everybody, and I'll do the whole first level. I'll skip the second landing because I don't need to whatever. I'll talk to everyone and just continue.
Mhm.
I'll lose in the second one and it's game over. Doesn't start you back at that first landing. Brings you all the way back to the fucking first save point. Doesn't matter what kind of checkpoints I reached or whatever.
Mhm.
It's just by saves, not checkpoints.
Interesting.
Which is frustrating because I lost many
So you should have
hours.
just saved.
I didn't know. I
You
didn't think of
didn't
it.
know.
I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna continue. Maybe I'll just bring me back to the last landing I was at. Nope. Game over. Game resets.
Gotta love autosaves, I guess, then, at that point.
Yeah, I
Not
guess.
always.
Not always.
Fuck, man. I was playing. Was it Halo Reach on Legendary or something?
And
And I was
autosave.
rushing through. Like, I was on the last bit, and I think you had to get to a gun turret to, like, shoot down some ship or something. And I ran through, it autosaved, and I completely missed, like, a ton of enemies.
Oh shit!
And they stayed in the save. So, like, I was completely screwed. Like, there was no way
Oh, yeah.
It was
I could
impossible.
That
finish.
happened to one of my friends, too, but it's just inconvenient autosaves, because what happened to my friend was he was playing, like, Call of Duty or whatever, and it autosaved right before a grenade blew up in his face.
Wow,
So it came back and killed him every single time, and he couldn't do anything about it.
sounds like Groundhog's Day.
I think it was me and Richard that we played the first one on Legendary.
Yeah.
Pretty sure way
Probably.
back when. And we used to abuse the autosave because we would just have one person run as far as
Yeah.
possible, make it to the next save, and then just have the second person die. Like,
Yeah.
we would cheat. We'd bump each other up.
There was also that other
we
thing,
played
though.
all of them.
Yeah.
Fucking
There was also
Legendary.
that other thing, though, where one person goes in and starts killing stuff while the other person stays behind so that when he dies, the guy
Yeah.
can respawn.
Mhm.
There's all kinds of random
But you
hacks.
can't respawn in combat, right? So these people. Oh, I guess if you're far
You're
enough
out of
back, you
combat,
just-
yeah.
Yeah, you're out of combat.
Wow, that's a fun way of playing a video game.
That's the cheat way of playing video games. Anyways, so I beat Strider again. I beat
Twice.
Yeah,
You
well, because
platinumed it.
I platinumed it. Yes,
Whoa.
it's very quick. No, because it only takes like max like 13, 14 hours. It took me like 8 to 9 hours to get every trophy except for 2, and the only trophy I didn't have was beating it on hard, and then
Within
beating it
4
within 4 hours. So I beat it in 3 hours on hard.
Okay, so let's move away from trophies because I don't know if people over there are interested in that. But moving into your review on it, a rating, and then what you really liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and if you'd recommend it to other people.
I'd probably give it like a 7, 7.5.
Okay.
It was decent. It reminded like it has a really strong nostalgia feel because it felt so much like the old ones, which isn't bad because the old ones were good arcade games, right? But certain things could be, I guess, well, I wouldn't say archaic or whatever, but I mean, I haven't really played any of the old ones in a long time. Just the feeling that it conveyed reminded me a lot of what I remember of the game. So overall, I enjoyed the experience, but like the controls were really frustrating sometimes because like it felt every time you were on a wall that you were so glued to it, and that the controls weren't very responsive on it. And the fact that I couldn't use my damn D-pad pissed me the fuck off for a 2D platformer. Like, why the hell do I have to use the damn analog stick? It's fucking stupid shit.
So the biggest detriment then is the controls.
Yes, the controls were annoying, but the game overall was really fun. There was a lot of stuff to collect, a lot of different artwork, different costumes, stuff like that. You can even customize your own costume completely.
Really?
Yeah, completely.
That's a
like
huge draw for me.
Change all the different colors no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter. It's really cool. Outside of that, the game wasn't overly difficult, and I saw on the forums that a lot of people were complaining about checkpoints. And I was like, oh, whatever, what the fuck are these people complaining about? Because I only ever really died during bosses in the normal mode. When I played on hard, though, holy shit. Like, when you die, the checkpoints fucking suck. Like,
Are they really far back?
They're not really, really far back, but they're really at unopportune times. Like, sometimes you do these tests, and it's like, oh, test complete, but victim still lives, continue. And then you go to the next part, and you do a test. Then you get to the last part, and die, and then it starts you at the beginning. Like, fuck off. It's annoying as shit.
If you die, does that count as playtime? For the
No, it's very good. I was very happy that they're not dicks about it.
Okay.
Because if you spend like half an hour or an hour fighting a boss, I had never spent that long, but I died a few times on a number of the bosses on hard mode.
Yeah.
It just resets at the last load point. It doesn't save your time and then reload, which would be really fucking stupid.
Side note, that actually reminds me a lot of Metal Gear Rising, which I played last year. The last boss was so infuriatingly difficult. I think I probably put about 3 or 4 hours of my time into playing the game.
Wow.
And yeah, and the actual playtime that I registered after I beat the boss was like 8 minutes or 9 minutes. It just totally ignored the fact that I put all of that time into it. It doesn't count cutscenes. It doesn't count any of that. It's just you playing the game.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just kind
funny.
of interesting.
All right, so moving on from Strider. Well, yeah, I would recommend it to people, especially if they like arcade games and played the old Striders and like them. If they're not really a fan of the genre, I'd probably say skip it. But if they like that sort of game, then I would really highly recommend it because it's overall really fun.
And what kind of a game is it for people who aren't familiar with it?
Well, it's a 2D side-scrolling arcade game. Like, literally, it doesn't take super long to beat. Like, some people I saw on hard mode, like, the number one time is like 2 hours and 15 minutes. You could beat the original Striders in half an hour.
Yeah.
Because they were originally arcade games. They're trying to suck your quarters.
Yeah.
So, anyways. Moving on from that, I played Thief also. I only played it for about 4 hours. It reminds me so much of the old ones. Like, really, it feels exactly like how... The same thing with Strider. I don't remember too much of the old ones except for that feeling, and this one portrays the exact same feeling. But I don't think it's the perfect game to stream. It's very slow. It's a stealth game, right? It's not heavy on the action, and even when you do get caught, most of the time you're running away. But overall, the game's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it way more than I enjoyed Dishonored. I really did not get into Dishonored, but maybe it's just the setting. I prefer medieval over steampunk, I guess, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have to put more time into it. Like I said, I only played 4 hours. I played the first couple of missions. I want to do some of the side missions, finish more of the story. I want to try and platinum it, but it seems like it's going to be a fucking pain in the ass. Probably like three or four playthroughs for sure.
Wow. I'm reading reviews on it, and it's actually a lot of people are pretty disappointed with it. And
Yeah?
some of the complaints that they're making are the town is kind of confusing.
Well, not really.
It just seems like it could have been more than it actually is. It just is a very tame stealth experience. I think the frustration comes from the fact that Thief actually was a pioneer in the first-person stealth experience.
It was also 10 years old.
Right, and then this is just sort of a very unfortunate reminder that Thief created something that it has gone in its own direction, and now the people who are in charge of making another Thief didn't do a good job with it. They really didn't do justice to the series.
They did. I have the exact same nostalgic feeling that I did playing the old ones. They're so true to the old Thieves, it's crazy.
Right, but
so they didn't innovate the stealth genre. They're not pioneers of the genre anymore. Is that what you're trying to say?
They're saying that there's a lot of like audio bugs. People are looping in terms of what they're saying. There's a lot of issues with the AI for the guard AI, which is always a big no-no.
Well, even in the old stealth games, the
yeah,
old
because this was
Thief
10 years
games were the
ago.
same thing.
10 years
10
ago,
years
you
ago.
expect the AI to be rubbish,
Man.
but now it should be better.
You should have invited my buddy on.
Why?
He went out last night.
Didn't he make
it? was
it?
the launch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he worked on it. Yeah.
You worked
Yeah.
on Thief.
Yeah.
That's
So
fantastic.
he was telling me about all this stuff that I don't know how much I could actually say.
Was
He
it
was
bad
saying-
stuff?
No.
Well, there was rumors of a lot of
was-
random shit going on during the development cycle of the game.
Yes.
But apparently, that happens to every game. pretty
Yeah,
much.
there's a lot of
On
random.
AAA.
Yeah, but
like people leaving and people joining. Like,
Right, understandable.
depends how much happens though.
I was reading an article today on Kill Screen Daily, which is kind of a strange website because they're trying to be more. They bring more of an intelligent perspective on video games, but it falls through because sometimes they don't post for weeks on end, and it's just like the stuff that they post sometimes is not all that good. But they post this 1 week they're talking about how genres themselves now are no longer existing because there's been so much of this hybridization and this homogenization to some extent about different genres. For example, stealth is being incorporated into everything now, even if it's an action title. For example, Lords of Shadow 2, the new Castlevania game, has stealth in it, which
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense because why does it need stealth?
But that game has a lot of stuff in it. It's a mix of all of them.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
it doesn't.
What I'm
It's a
saying is-
Castlevania game. Why is there?
But
It's
even
supposed
5
to
or
be an
6
action game.
Even like 10 years ago, you wouldn't have thought of that. Like Metal Gear Solid revolutionized
Except for
stealth
Shadow of Rome.
action. Right, which is awesome, but it
Doesn't make
still
sense.
espionage
Yeah.
action.
There you go.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm going completely off topic. They were talking about the Soul series, so Demons and Dark Souls, and how that's become this new revolution of how it's subverted the way you thought of RPGs. For the example being that with horror games now, you sort of expect things to happen, and because you expect that, you're not enjoying yourself quite as much. But Dark Souls and Demon Souls, it subverted your expectations, which means that it sort of puts you on your head a little bit. You're expecting a lot of micromanagement in RPGs. You're expecting a lot of this going to RPGs on a mathematical level, looking at it as a statistic, as a code, and seeing like, well, if I equip this, then he's going to get an extra 1 point of damage that'll make you kill this enemy 1 time faster. But Darks and Demon Souls, you don't really think about those things quite as much, and that's what's interesting. And so,
Demon Souls do that?
It's the same
yes
thing,
and no.
man.
I mean, it's still an RPG, but when you play it, you don't really think about those things because you're more focused on, okay, there's a lot of weight.
Well, because it's a very
There's not that much
loose RPG.
Well, but
it
it's
is
still
and it
your
isn't.
stats.
It's
You
still
still
an
want to
RPG.
focus on your stats, the weapons
Yeah,
you
but
put.
that's
you
the
do-
RPG element of it.
Yeah.
But you're not looking at the super micro part of it.
What do you
Right.
do for the weight? Because the weight really matters.
No,
That
no,
one weight will throw
but
you into
Matt,
heavy.
I understand that. I'm saying that it's a component of it, but it's not as core. The core of some RPGs, you get lost in the micromanagement, whereas in the Darks and Demon Souls games, the argument is made, I don't necessarily agree with it, that you aren't really thinking about those things because you're thinking about staying alive. That becomes the prominent aspect of it, and I think that the horror genre is waiting for that Demon Souls, where it subverts your expectations of horror, where it isn't jump scares anymore. It becomes something that's a little bit more intelligent, that's evolving the genre, like Stealth did with Thief, for example.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like I was saying in the past weeks about Outlast, I mean, sure, there are jump scares that make you, flip out a bit, but most of the time, I mean, the atmosphere that the game is, creating, all the ambient music, all the noise, everything about that is making my heart pump because it's so fucking, it's just the anxiety in it. It's not scary, It's just making your heart race, and then the jump scares or whatever. But most of the time in horror games, you're working off of that atmosphere that they're creating.
Yeah, but
it's scarier when there's nothing around.
No, I get that, and it's even scarier when you're not empowered, right? That's what Outlast had done, but it's just...
Or every horror
But to
game now.
Andy's point, rather than just defending the game, it's interesting that the experience was lessened slightly because of the fact...
expects it.
And not just...
It's like, okay, one example is there's a guy with his back turned, he's in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
and he's just he's not really
That's at the
moving.
very beginning of the
No,
game.
but it's
Yeah.
not the first time.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
no.
not.
The first time I expected it.
Yeah.
The second time you're just kind of not really paying attention, and then it happens. You're like, "Fuck!"
When he turns around and tries to attack
He
you.
jumps
comes
at you. Yeah.
and grabs you.
But I
I
mean,
mean, is there a quick time event where you're fighting him?
No.
No,
Like
no,
God
no.
of War, and then
no.
you pull off his head?
Yes. Rip it out with the skull intact. I mean, sorry, with the spine attached. Yeah.
So,
Anyways, Richard,
So,
want to bring up anything? What'd you play this week? Anything at all?
besides this,
Minus Flappy
Flappy
Bird.
Flappy Birds.
What's the score?
Sell your
What?
bird.
What's
My
the score?
score's 59. I'm not very good at this game.
59's not bad, though.
That's pretty good.
Better than most people.
I don't know, just pretty much Counter-Strike and Battlefield. The new expansion came out for Battlefield, so I gotta start playing that so I can unlock more stuff for my sniper.
So this is interesting because you have a actual, I wouldn't say professional, but you have a pretty deep experience about shooters, right? Because you play a lot of them. You play Counter-Strike. We don't really have that
for like fucking 10 years.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Battlefield 3? How has it evolved the genre, if it has?
Battlefield 4, you mean?
Battlefield 4, thank you. How is Battlefield 4, is it a good game overall? Are you enjoying it?
It is. I kind of enjoyed Battlefield 3 a little more, though.
Okay. And what did you enjoy more about Battlefield 3?
I don't know. The maps are a little more fun, and you could actually, like... I have no experience so far in this game with this, is shooting people out of vehicles.
Oh.
Does not seem possible
Super
in
annoying.
Battlefield 4 anymore.
Yeah.
In Battlefield 3, you could do it. In Battlefield 4, no, you can't. It's like every thing is bulletproof glass now.
Really?
Yeah.
That would make complete sense if I was in the military.
It would, but it pretty much makes you completely useless against vehicles unless you're an anti-vehicle person.
Yeah, no, it's fucking annoying. It's like, in the first one, it was easy to take out vehicles. Then in the second one, it was like, oh yeah, whatever. Make it harder. Then in the third one, a little bit better. And then the fourth one is just back to stupid.
And some of the maps, there's a lot of vehicles.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
See, me and Dodds, we were playing Conquest, and we were like, this is fucking, it's terrible. Like, there's so many vehicles, but we went into the bad part because we're not used to 64-man games.
Okay.
So it's just the maps are huge, and if you want to walk anywhere, there's no point. You might as well just get in a vehicle.
Yeah.
So everyone's in a vehicle, and it just becomes some gigantic vehicle simulator. Who gives a fucking shit? That's not what I want to play.
Yeah. But there's even some maps that are dedicated just for vehicles. Like, there's maps where it's literally just...
It's so boring,
flying
though.
aircrafts and
And it's
stuff.
so stupid.
It's not
For
stupid.
that, I
It
don't
annoys
like
me.
it. That how vehicle heavy it is right now, and
It's
how you
so
really can't do
vehicle
anything
heavy.
against them.
Yeah, and it
Just
just...
have an entire team of anti-vehicle people.
It
Yeah,
takes
but
so
it
many
takes-
rockets to
It's
kill anything.
really pathetic, yeah.
32 people.
I shot 3 rockets at a tank, and it did nothing.
Like, I think
It
one of the
literally did
last things
nothing.
you get as a engineer or whatever it is a javelin.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if anyone watches like anything remote with army and shit. It's a fire
I
and
know the
forget
name.
weapon. Like, you literally target something and you just shoot it up in the air and it'll find it and blow it up. Not in Battlefield 4. It's not a fire and forget weapon. And it doesn't do any more damage than the other weapons. It makes no sense. The game is not very accurate when it comes to the weapons.
That's unusual, given that I think that DICE prides themselves in being realistic with their shooting experience. I guess it sort of reminds you that it's still a competitive shooter, and that takes precedence over it being a simulation game.
Realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big-ass maps with the crazy amount of people and only the vehicles is just not fun.
Yeah,
At least not from my perspective.
Like, there's one, it's called the Silk Road. It's literally like a giant desert map. And it's not crazy. It's pretty flat, sort of. There's not a whole lot of buildings or anything.
Like Alper.
So you can kind of see, like, everything. And if you're not a guy that goes in a tank, a helicopter, or plane, then pretty much what you're doing is taking the motorbikes, loading them with C4, and just driving them at tanks to blow them up.
What?
That's
Yeah, but
literally
it's-
all you're going to do
That's
that
another
entire
thing
map.
that pissed me off. Like, why does the sniper have C4? It's so annoying.
Why not? He has to have something. Otherwise, he's
Okay.
completely useless against vehicles.
You want to
That's
know?
true.
He's a sniper. He's not supposed to be near
Everybody
vehicles.
has to have
Everyone's in a
something.
vehicle.
What the fuck do assault rifle people have?
Uh,
And don't say a grenade launcher because that does nothing against vehicles.
Nuke cannon, I hate that thing. I'm sure they have something. I'm sure they
No, they have nothing. What about the
don't get
guys?
for it.
What about the support? No, the support.
Support gets
no,
C4.
engineers. No, support doesn't get. So the sniper class gets C4. I'm talking about the guys with the heavy machine guns,
Like a
with the
Claymore?
light heavy machine guns.
Wait, is it C4 or is it Claymore?
C4.
You get both as a sniper, and I think they
Yeah.
changed Claymore recently. And
Claymore
it's
makes
fucking
sense.
Shit.
Claymore makes sense because you put it behind you, and if someone tries to sneak up, they blow up.
Yeah, not
I
anymore.
Not
You know
anymore.
how many times I put C4 down, seen someone kill me, and they run over my fucking Claymore?
Yeah, because you're dead.
No, it still goes.
So the legs
not
blow up
anymore.
and
It's
they
one of the
crawl
recent
around.
updates. I swear it changed it, and now it's like I can literally still be alive, and someone will get behind me. Like, my Claymore is perfectly placed, and they just run over it like nothing. I'll place it down, hide behind a corner, and watch the person run right past it.
That's funny.
That isn't funny. That's
Sad.
horrible. That's
Yeah, I
like
know.
Just like absolutely.
I don't know.
And
I always
every update they do fucking ruins the performance of the game.
Yeah. See, I used to be like, yeah, if people ask like Call of Duty or Battlefield, I'm like, yeah, I'm a Battlefield guy. I like Battlefield more, but I don't think I like either of them at this
Yeah,
point.
now that I agree with you.
I don't think I'd rather play either of them.
You just wake
at
up
all.
one morning, you're like,
You want to know what was fun? Killzone. Killzone was fucking
there
amazing
you
when
go.
playing it
Thank
online.
you.
Like
Thank
the
you.
fourth
I want
one?
to play Battlefield by myself. I have to play with people.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is something you can jump in and have fun with a couple minutes there.
But I mean, like, I had fun playing Killzone online for the 8-10 hours, but it was fun. It was very fun.
It's very good. I agree.
All right, let's get into some discussions.
Did you hear about Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed. What about Assassin's Creed?
The new
What's it called? This something.
era.
Era.
They're doing it.
Oh, really?
Really?
They're making another one now.
They've
Already?
announced it
I
already.
didn't know.
Yeah.
What is it?
The
Well,
title of
What I
it
found
is
out
leaked.
too is the original writer, the one that did 1 and 2, the good ones. I think had a hand in
What's wrong
3
with
and is
4?
doing the newest one.
I like 4.
Well, that's it. I think
What, Jane
she had
Raymond or
she had a hand in the newest one.
All right. Anyways,
I-
what's the setting, Matt? We don't care about the rest.
Well, because they made they made a vote, right?
Yeah.
And it came up to being
Internally,
no, it was in like a public
Oh,
vote.
really?
Everyone,
40% of them wanted something, and sorry.
no, they were actually like voting like England, Russia, but like
Okay,
different
just
time periods.
get to it.
Russia.
Japan got but like a feudal Russia.
Feudal Japan would be pretty sick.
No, that's what everyone wanted. But she's like, okay, we're gonna do it in Japan, but it's not gonna be with samurais.
What?
So
Well,
let
it needs to be with
let him
ninjas.
finish. What's it going to be with?
She didn't say. She just says that it's gonna be in Japan, but
It's gonna
not
be
with
ninjas.
samurais.
Great.
It needs to be with ninjas, man.
No, I don't know if there's ninjas, but there's no samurais.
It's going to be in the feudal era, though.
No, it can't be.
It can be the Great Fall. What else can it be?
But there's no. It's after. It's in the part just after it.
Yeah,
Where
it's
there's going to be
possible.
guns involved. There's not going to be samurais anymore.
Well, that's okay.
Oh,
I'm
like
okay
the
with
Last
Yeah,
Samurai.
like the last samurai.
that. No, there might not be samurai, but
It's
you
going to be
might still
Assassin's
be a
Creed
samurai.
5, The Great Fall, you're going to play as Lubu.
Lubu. That's Chinese. Dynasty Warriors 8 gonna be pretty
It was
sick.
co-op, right? It's gonna have co-op for sure.
For sure.
They always
It
have
has
co-op.
to.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
anyways,
It's all
still
about-
happens,
it's all about
Speaking,
Link.
speaking of
Link
old
afterwards.
games, they're making a new mana game. It's called Rise of Mana, but it's going to be for fucking stupid phones.
At first, they're going to port it when it doesn't make any money.
But it looks like, no, it's a free-to-play game, so there's like fucking money.
Well, it's even
There were a
like
lot
a
of games in
cash
the Mana
grab.
series.
There is a lot of games, but there hasn't been a good like actual console release. The last one was like a PS2 game. I can't remember what it was
And
called,
it was
but it was crap.
dismal.
Yeah, total crap. The last good one was like
Skyrim?
Legend of Mana. But yeah, I mean, like it's for the phone.
Okay.
I'm disappointed
Name
because
the-
I love the Mana
Name
series.
the last good mana game
Legend of
Legend of
Mana.
Mana.
for the PlayStation 1.
Yes, so it does.
So
What was it,
move
Sword
the
of Mana?
fuck on
That
back.
game was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Play it
What was that
again.
on?
Sword of Mana was good too.
For what?
Game Boy.
No,
Advance.
there was one on DS. What was the one on DS? Or
Children of Mana.
Yeah, that Children of Mana was good.
I think I played a lot of
Now
it
that
with
now that
Matt.
I'm older than 18, I don't know if I'm all liking that game.
If they
anymore.
came out with a good console one, I would fucking buy the shit out of that.
Did you buy 2 of them?
They came out with there was
Despite
one for the PS2 that was horrible.
I played it still.
For the PS2?
Yeah.
Did you?
It's better. Yeah, I did.
No. You're holding on to a
I
pipe
did
dream.
play it. Anyways, it
Oh, you
doesn't
did
matter.
because I made it up.
Yeah, it didn't
I'm just-
exist.
I'm just annoyed that it's on a phone.
They came out. They're coming out with a new Breath of Fire, which no one cares
Oh,
about.
really?
Also free
You
to play.
liked-
Also iOS.
Oh God, why,
Don't know. For the
bastards?
same reason.
Anyways, me and Sean watched a trailer or a gameplay trailer for The Order 1886,
Yeah.
the PS4 exclusive, and the graphics are stupid. Like,
Yeah.
no, literally
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Adam's
Terrible.
ears were bleeding. It was that good.
They were crazy.
We have to stop watching this because my brain is hemorrhaging.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
gonna have a
The thing,
stroke
the
in
first,
my-
the frame rate had obvious issues,
yes.
but it's just like it was noticeable because there's apparently the game's only going to run at 30 frames a second, but it was noticeable that it looked like a little. But I don't know, maybe it just was the recording because it
See,
seemed
makes
like it
sense.
went. It seemed like it went below 30
yeah.
Because
sometimes.
the new consoles can do
60.
60 FPS as opposed to like every console before it. But they're not like computers where you can have a super amazing game. So half the frame rates, better graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a third-person shooter with like some QuickTime events with thrown in or whatever. But everything's supposed to be very seamless. There's no huge transition between anything. It's very seamless.
Yeah.
And it looked really good.
It did.
Is it a single player game? or
It is a single player
It is
game.
single player.
Because it's
Yeah.
it's like a party, right, of people.
Yeah, party of people, but it's no co-op apparently. It's
Party of
their
5?
Come on.
super. Yes, party of 5.
Sure.
Party of 4 actually. So King removed their trademark for Candy and Saga. You know that there was that
Yes, because it
trademark
was
crazy
stupid.
thing.
They
Yeah.
were idiots.
But you want to know what happened? Apparently, some devs trolled them, and they created this thing called the Candy Jam, which had a bunch of developers come together and create a bunch of games that just had the name Candy and Saga in their names.
Wow.
Super troll.
Oh, no.
But anyways, they removed it,
I
and
hope so.
they're
Yeah.
big ass dumb bastards. But
Mhm.
anyways, the PS4 released in Japan over the weekend, and it like destroyed the amount of PS3s that got sold. But that might be because of quantity. I'm not sure because they seemed more prepared this time at launch
Yeah.
Well,
compared
it has
to the
so many
PS3.
ready already, right? That's-
Yeah,
And
but
what games did they release? Because they were holding off on releasing the PS4.
the
because
extra games they released was Yakuza, Dynasty Warriors, The Final Fantasy beta was
All the
ready at
Asian
launch. I can't remember what else, but the main game that got sold was Knack because it came bundled with the system.
Of course.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like the Wii game, man.
yeah.
Oh, Wii
Wii
Sports.
Wii Sports, yeah.
Most sold
so
game
sad.
ever.
But anyways, they sold like 300,000 units.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Eat that,
in
Microsoft.
comparison, the PS3 sold 80,000 in the same time frame.
Yeah, but you're right. You had pointed out. I mean, how many units were available?
Exactly. Yeah, they released worldwide, like everywhere, including Japan and North America at the same time for the PS3.
If I went to Best Buy right now, could I buy a PS4?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
No, there's still an issue with that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
I was in EB Games 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and some guy came in looking for a PS4, and they didn't have any. left,
Yeah,
so.
Andy bought his on a whim. He went there. He's like, "Ha, they have a PS4.
It was
If
the
I
last
leave,
one.
they probably won't have it anymore. So I might as well just buy it."
There you go.
They
Yeah.
had 10
That sales
ordered that
pitch.
day. There were 10 there that day, and they'd all sold out except for one.
Where did you go to buy it?
EB Games in the Eaton Center.
Oh, the Eaton Center of all
Yeah.
places.
So
I'm there
far.
like every day. I should go there. And,
I should check.
the Eaton Center by McGill, but
Yeah.
The only Eden Center we have.
Anyways, okay. So my question is, at what point does the music or the art elevate the game status? Okay, because there always has to be a minimum. No matter how good the music of the game is or the art style of the game is, if it's buggy and broken and can't play properly, no one's gonna give a shit. It could be gorgeous, but if it doesn't run, then it doesn't matter, right? But at what point, like if you have a properly running game or whatever, do you think that the extra stuff in it is it icing on the cake, or does it change something? Like the games that win awards, like Grand Theft Auto 5 won for best soundtrack or whatever, but I wouldn't really consider its soundtrack elevated its game.
Right.
But Hotline Miami, see, that game worked very well, but it was a 2D game, but the soundtrack was fucking sick.
You have to have
Right?
decent gameplay for the music to matter.
But
I
at the
agree.
same time, like Grand Theft Auto doesn't have any original music, but it has a good soundtrack. But it doesn't
'Cause
change
it goes
anything.
with what you're doing. It just helps you with the atmosphere and everything.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, in Hotline Miami, it's just so much different, and arguably in horror games, right? The ambient sounds or whatever, depending on how good it's done, just adds so much more to the game.
Well, let me throw the question back at you. What do you think?
But
We were just talking before, just real quickly. We were talking before about Battlefield.
Mhm.
What do you think Battlefield does better than Call of Duty? I think it has really good sound fidelity.
I don't know. The best sound fidelity of any shooter was Black. Remember playing Black for the PS2?
Yeah,
Hooking my fucking sub to that, and it was just like every shot was like,
was amazing. Was amazing.
like you felt it in your chest. It was so good.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that anymore playing shooters.
Like you're older now.
Or maybe they're all just like that.
Yeah,
There wasn't
exactly.
any that stood out. I guess Black at the day stood out compared to all the other shooters, where nowadays it's just the status quo.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing abnormally crazy about any shooter nowadays because they're all like that. Right?
Maybe the blockbuster shooters are different.
I'm gonna say that Call of Duty is more of a arcade shooter, and Battlefield takes more skill. I'll say.
Yeah.
You have to
Well, it's
lead,
like
you have bullet drop.
twitchy
you
and
can't
stuff.
spray like you can in Call of Duty.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Titanfall?
God.
It looks
I
like
played
fucking
that.
Call of Duty mixed
I
with
played
like
the beta.
Brink
Yeah.
and
Brink, yeah.
It's actually. Did you play it?
No, but
No.
from what I'm not I don't enjoy Call of Duty because of the simplicity and easiness of the game. But I mean, I can hop in with friends and have a good time. I enjoyed the hell out of Call of Duty 4.
I don't enjoy it until I enjoy it.
That is something I completely forgot that I played. I got onto the beta for it, and I played
Titanfall?
it for. Yeah, I didn't play that much of it, but
why would you lose
Yeah.
that opportunity?
I was busy.
I
I
got
had my
to
exams.
check it
I got into the Titanfall beta. I turned it on while the servers were fucked, and then never went back.
Okay.
Nice.
But like the fact that
Gross.
you can run up walls and jump off, like that adds so much to like. I really can't play COD. I despise it now. Like I used to enjoy playing it,
Right.
but now if I go online, it's just like, oh, someone killed me from behind. Okay, someone killed me from behind again.
Yeah, but at the
Like-
same time, all these games are, they're all. There's nothing outside of the norm that changes anything for it, right?
Right.
If you're going to talk about any sort of like design, art,
Right.
music, sound, it's all very standard. It's all super standardized.
I also like to point out that generally, to my experience, most gamers will like a certain type of music.
Mhm.
So say you start playing classical or something really abstract into
Yeah.
any kind of video game. Just a normal one. It doesn't have to be an abstract game. Just a very normal video game with
Yeah.
abstract music. No one's going to like the game.
Mm.
Because they're
You
just
think
not
it's going
used
to take it away?
because they're not used to that music. They're
Mm.
going to be turned off by that music.
Well, it depends.
I think it has to go with the game.
But I
No,
guess it depends on the person too, because I like classical music. When I was playing Outlast, there's
I
a
know.
point where one guy's playing the piano.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish the music was like this all the time. It
Yeah,
would
but
make
like
the
I
game
said,
less scary.
It's not everybody, but the general consensus, like people who played a lot of GTA, they like that kind of music that was in the background. It's like a hip hop kind
But
of.
GTA, you can't really give them that because GTA covers
That's
everything.
everything.
Yeah,
they
but I
have
know.
classical. They
I know,
have
but
rap, they have
technically,
R&B.
like, what do you chat?
Psychomantic.
So at the same time, you can take my question in the opposite direction. Music can also detract from the overall experience.
I think that a good video game is the type of video game where all of its
Well, it has to
individual
join together perfectly.
exactly to the point where you're not even thinking about it. To give you an example that I thought of recently, the Mass Effect trilogy.
Mhm.
It's completely understated how powerful the soundtrack is. You don't even think about it.
Yeah,
Like,
the
No,
sound
I've
of
never-
the what's it called? The invading ones.
No, he's talking about the music, the
Yeah.
soundtrack. He said.
The
What a
songs that they add that when they
Yeah.
come in is amazing, and then you have that big sound, the bass in the background.
yeah, how good is
Just
that?
adds
though?
to
It's
it so
just
much.
I don't
It's
remember that at
impending
all.
doom,
Exactly,
it's like, whoa, and then it just
exactly. The
becomes-
fact that you don't remember it speaks to how it wasn't dissonant. You expected it to have this grandiose
It
sci-fi
did, though. I
feel,
thought it did.
and it did, and it did it very, very well. And I think that
It's like if you ever watch a movie or play a video game without music,
Legion.
it's
Each of my
not
sack.
No.
nearly as good.
No, it's not. Even RPGs where the music is not really all that necessary, I feel that I'm completely removed from the experience. I agree.
Yeah, but then again, playing a game with the music turned off is just weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
That's what-
games like
that's
the
what
old
it is.
8-bit or 16-bit games, it's like a 20-second thing just looped over and over.
The best things
But that
ever, though.
loop still keeps you going in the game and
Yeah.
you enjoy it.
How about this? Remember that game, Viking?
Yes.
Viking was a game. It was like a third-person action game where all the sounds were all just ambient. It was very true to like if
Yes.
you were even in the room. There was no background music. If you're walking down like a field or whatever, all you hear is the wind blowing the grass,
Mhm.
and people were distracted by the lack of sound everywhere. They're like, "Where's my background music? It's so quiet."
Yeah.
And like it detracted from it, even though they're trying to build a world like that. Just not having background music destroyed everyone's experience of the game, even though the game was pretty fun.
You played Viking?
I played it for a few hours, for
Viking,
like 6
Wasn't the one
hours
that had like 3 dragons or
Yeah.
something?
with the
Viking
dragons.
was
Yeah.
weird because, yeah, it did have 2 dragons. It was weird because it was one of those really awkward games that was developed simultaneously
That's
for the
the right way.
Xbox 360 and the PS3
10%.
before they had enforced PS3
The
trophies.
silver's on it.
And so they had a bunch of these very obsolete objects that served absolutely no purpose except for to get achievements on the Xbox 360
Mhm.
in the PS3 version, even though there was literally no point because you don't get trophies. And I remember collecting these skulls and be like, these are amazing, these are like Easter eggs. And then I looked online and like, there's no point in collecting these because they don't give you anything. They just give you an achievement on the Xbox 360
Okay.
version. It was a good game though. But I agree with you. I think that people are, which is funny because this is moving outside of video games slightly, is that people are so stupid because they say that they want something, but they
Not the
don't
right
want
way.
something.
It's
They
good.
say that they want something that's super experimental, you know, like make it so that the sound makes sense, as Adam had pointed out. Have games where there's not necessarily music in it unless it needs to have music, unless it's poignant. And then when there's no music, people are like, oh, I didn't like the fact that there was no music in this. Well, if you guys aren't willing to accept experimental game design, then don't complain that you want experimental game design, right? You've made your bed, right? You're a consumer. You should be consuming experimental titles instead of just saying that you want them and then not actually purchasing them. Thief,
Something about
right,
Thief,
is
yeah.
very average. It is just, you said that it reminds
It's
you of Thief.
nostalgic, yeah.
Right,
Reminds me
right.
of the old ones.
But it is such a generic stealth game. Shouldn't you hold stealth games up to a higher standard?
Well, I'm not a huge stealth game fan. I don't really care.
Actually-
It's the tempo is very slow.
It's actually more
And-
than generic because of the tools they give you. Most stealth games aren't going to give you all these tools to actually do stealth stuff.
I don't know about that though anymore. I mean, think about a
Do you
stealth
have
game
a
that
Well,
gun?
in order to do something specific, no, you have to get more tools. Like you have to
Oh.
purchase tools to do certain. Like I would have to buy tools and then redo old missions to do it different ways. Because right now, like if I had a wire cutter in the last mission, I would just be able to fuck with the machines and throw so much opium into the rooms that everyone would just fall asleep, and then it would be super easy for me. But instead, I didn't have the wire cutters and everything's hard. If I get a wrench, I can open up grates and go through the ventilation systems. But since I don't have the wrench, I have to walk around like a fucking chump.
Yeah, but it just adds replay value to it. But they give you these options. They give you these tools
Yeah.
that add stealth to it.
Right, but I'm saying that like the last really good stealth game that I can think of was Far Cry 3, and they give you options. Right, that was just
Far Cry
options.
3, that's more of a fighting game.
Well, I played it as a stealth.
More of a
action-
fighting game.
Well, fighting action
game. Then let's talk about Mark of Ninja. I haven't played Mark of
Oh my
Ninja.
god.
But you gave you a lot of tools in that. It was an
Oh.
exceptional stealth game, right?
It was fantastic.
There you go. And so that is the stealth game of today, I think.
Yeah, Mark of the Ninja was,
New
the
Tenchu
controls are just so
Yeah, I've been
tight.
saying that
Yeah?
Tenchu, that would be
It's like
sick.
Super Meat Boy tight. Like,
Really?
Mark of the Ninja,
Yeah.
that was the side-scrolling one, right?
Which one?
Yeah, I'm waiting
Mark
for
of the
like.
Ninja, yeah.
I'm hoping that it comes to the Vita. I would love it on that OLED. I would melt. My eyes would melt out of my.
But to me, that's not as much stealth involved because it's more of an arcade type of a stealth.
But
So it's a different feel. It's more of a Strider. It's like nostalgia. You still have that hint of whatever, and it's easier. It's like you didn't play the app phone for the what's it, Splinter Cell.
Right.
It's just like a side-scrolling whatever.
Right.
That's what it is. But you're a robot. You're being stealth. You
Oh.
just avoid being seen.
Right.
Is Strider on the Vita?
No.
Really?
It's gonna be. I think it'll probably come out for the Vita.
I'm
Like it
surprised. I thought it came out on everything.
Because I
No,
find the
it's fine.
3D adds so much more to the stealth than just having it like hiding from sight. That's all it is.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, like Richard had said, I've been saying that for a couple of weeks now. I really want a new Tenchu game.
Well, they came out with one for the PSP, I think, 3 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
And then the team who works on Tenchu is working on another stealth game that is virtually the exact same thing.
That's what I feel like the problem is back in the day we used to have all these different variety of games and you can have fun with so many of them. But now you have games that have just set standards that everyone has to stick with.
Yeah.
So if we want a new Tenchu or something, it's going to come out on a handheld system because they don't have the balls to make it for a full-fledged console.
I think that we're overly simplifying it. I think that there are certainly institutions in the video game, like first-person shooters, right? Again, calling back to you because you really like shooters. And I think that you seem to be the expert here. I mean, I don't know if you play a lot of shooters also.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
you
he
are
plays
both,
everything, man.
but I'm just saying, like, I don't really know shooters, and so I've been removed from it. But by looking at it superficially, it looks like they've become boring to me. But that's just really because people are buying them, and because people are buying them, developers are getting pressure from publishers to make games that are exactly the same way.
Exactly.
So it comes
They're not
back.
doing anything new.
So it comes back. I agree that I would be frustrated, but at the same time, you should look at it as though everything is constantly moving forward, and it's not like you wouldn't want anything to be stagnant. I wouldn't want couch co-op to still be here because I would suggest that the online capabilities are not being up to speed, right? It just
Well, they can give you the option. That's the thing. Like Borderlands 2 had that. You had the split screen.
but no, I agree. FPSs are becoming kind of stale.
Yeah.
Like they've
They're not
killed
doing
it.
anything new.
No.
It's,
And
That's the thing. Like I played Titanfall for a
right.
bit,
Thank you. Yes.
and it just the wall jumping reminded me of Unreal Tournament, and that
Thank
just
you.
sold me.
Thank
like,
you. See, that's what I've read as well. I think that that's sort of like it's almost as though it's saying fuck you to what happens with Modern Warfare, and then it's sort of they're like, listen, we're sorry that we created something that caught on so well. We're gonna go back to the Unreal tournaments, to the tribes, to these feelings of
What are you guys talking about?
Titanfall.
Titanfall.
So sorry, what were you saying?
it's kind of just a more fast pace. There's more variety. Like you can quickly get onto buildings and get. An
I guess, yeah,
advantage
because
over
Call
your-
of Duty would be Unreal Tournament if you couldn't jump or have any of the cool rocket
Yeah.
launches or anything.
Yeah,
You're
but I
stuck with a machine gun.
I was checking out like a video about Titanfall, and the developers, they're giving tips on how to play or whatever. And one of their tips was use the verticality. Like you're able to like jump and run on
Seriously.
walls. Use it to your advantage. Don't be on the ground.
One thing I
Be
heard
on
was
the
really
roofs all the
bad
time.
is if you're a person, you get anti-Titan guns.
Mhm.
Apparently they suck
Yeah.
horrendously. But I
You
mean,
get a
even when
foothold.
you get in the mech, I mean, people
Yeah.
can go stealth, I
You're
believe.
not just gonna stand there and,
and they
wait.
can just
oh,
sneak up on your mech and
fine,
fucking jump for you from behind and destroy your mech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's not like the mechs are like
Yeah.
super crazy
Except the
powerful.
weapons suck against them.
Yeah,
you
the
you
anti-
literally have to
ones-
jump on it.
When I was playing, you get one every 2 minutes.
I thought it was 5 minutes.
I don't know when I play. Maybe they've changed
They
them.
changed it
How
maybe.
is
different
it?
modes.
I thought it was
If I
supposed to be
played it,
5
I
minutes.
wouldn't get into a Titan.
No?
It just seemed like there was no point to it.
It just makes you a big, strong tank.
I see plenty
That
of
walks.
people go on killing sprees as much as they do in a Titan.
Okay.
Well, it's good that it isn't to the point rather where you just need to get the Titan. Some people will be just playing as pilots, right?
but you can use the Titan. You don't have to necessarily stay in it. You can use it as just a nuclear bomb, basically.
Yeah, you can also
You
use it
just-
as like a
You can
defense turret.
sacrifice yourself,
Excellent.
and then as soon as your thing, basically when you eject and your thing blows up, it creates like a nuclear explosion. Like
Nice.
it just destroys everything in the surrounding
Vicinity.
area.
Yeah.
So you can just run in.
Run in. What are you talking
the
about? I just
intention
stand
to-
there as soon as I get it and blow it up.
The maps aren't very big, are they?
They're more. I'd say they're more.
Like, say, Call of Duty style size?
Yeah. They're. I don't know. I
They
played
make
on a
it so you can
couple.
always run into somebody within a few seconds, essentially.
Yeah, but you've also got the added grunts that they put in the game. There's like AI characters that are just running around.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
another thing. I think they're trying to appeal to like a more casual, like, oh, I want to feel like I'm doing good, you know?
I'm
So
feeling
they've got
good
Put
the
in
bots.
things that make you
They've
feel
got
like you're
these
doing
shitty
good.
bots. They were really shit in the beta. I don't know if they're going to improve them.
They're
or have
walking
an
to the
option.
wall. They're shooting at the floor.
Yeah.
That's really
I
bad.
don't know. I'm willing to, if that had come out for PS3, I might have considered it, just because it just seems like it's so different.
Yeah.
Right. It's given the love. It seems like it'll be competitive, right? But at the same time, you're not thinking of it as though this should be, bullet trajectories or things like this that you don't really think about. Even in, I mean, Battlefield has it, but that isn't what I was thinking about when I was playing Battlefield. I want to be having fun when I'm playing, and within the confines of Titanfall, it seems like that makes sense because I used to really like playing. What were we talking about before? Tribes, not
Tenchu?
Tribes. The other game.
Borderlands?
No. What is that other game?
Unreal Tournament?
Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, Unreal was
okay.
By
fun.
the way, Cliffy B is making. Well, he hinted that he's making another Unreal Tournament.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Like after he finished Gears of War, he's like the one thing I really want to go back and do.
Oh shit.
Unreal Tournament.
There hasn't been
style
one
game.
since the release of the PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, on that note, that's it for us. So like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Well, that'll eventually get set up. Sorry? MySpace? MSN?
Pornhub.
MSN is still around.
What's that?
Snapchat.
What's the dating one?
AOL chat, whatever it was.
AOL chat. What?
What is it? The dating one where you can flick left or right?
Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah.
Check
Last
us out on
week.
Tinder.
Check us out on
Tinder.
Maybe we'll hook up sometime.
Well, be on chat roulette too. You might get lucky.
Yeah.